everyone, welcome to Smart China Expo 2018, and this is Chongqing International Media Center. Today, we are very honored to have some smart guests here from Singapore for our interview, and of course, they are all smart experts in smart technology field. First of all, let me have a brief introduction. Okay, let's begin with Xiaochuan. Mr. Li Xiaochuan is the co-founder of Fuyou, and it is a tech company aiming at creating smart apps for better user experience. And Eric Mo is the senior vice president of iSoftStone. It is specializing in innovative software and IT services, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I can see that you two guys are anxious to talk and can't wait any longer to share the experience with us. So let's begin. Okay. First, let's start with Xiaochuan. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So Xiaochuan, this is the first edition of Smart China Expo, and it's very important for the whole smart industry, right?
Yes.
So could you please tell us about what is your company exactly doing, and is there any new product or new technology that you bring here to Smart China Expo?
Sure. My name is Xiaochuan. Thanks for the interview. So our company Fuyou is specialized in smart tourism solutions. So we have developed user experiences for tourists as well as for the tourism attraction owners. So in Singapore we have worked with Sentosa, and in Chongqing this Smart China Expo, we are actually launching an application that we are co-developing with the Chongqing Tourism Investment Group. It's called iChongqing. So iChongqing stands for Love Chongqing or AI Chongqing. So we think that in the future, Chongqing is going to be a smart city or AI empowered city. So using AI Chongqing or iChongqing, you can actually make the guests or the visitors experience so much more engaged and more enhanced, so that you can utilize AI technology to make their experience so much better. Yeah.
And I have one more question for you,
Sure.
because I think the name AI Chongqing is also a smart name, because the pronunciation of AI is exactly the word for love in Chinese. So how did you come up with this idea?
Okay, this is a cool kind of a brainstorm between our company and our partner, Chongqing Tourism Investment Group. So it was really like kind of a brainstorm session where we are actually comparing different names that's related to AI. They are smart or intelligent or AI or I. So we find that maybe like the English words has to be more precise, and it's better to be more associated with the Chinese name. So we come up with the AI Chongqing. We thought that maybe in the future AI will be so powerful and so important in tourism. So we want to really make that kind of experience to the tourism industry. So we choose the AI Chongqing as the name.
Okay, thank you very much. And now I have two more questions for Eric. Okay. Yeah, as I know, Singapore is very advanced and competitive in IT industry, and you are also expert in software and IT service. So I would like to know, do you have any advice for the IT industry in Chongqing?
Yes, I think this expo become a very good platform to connecting the Chongqing's IT companies with the Singaporean companies. As we already know, Singapore has become a worldwide tech hub for Asia Pacifics. So lots of technologies has been proved and verified in Singapore, like what I mentioned, the Virtual Singapore project, the Smart Nation project. They are using technologies from all over the world and apply to 650 million, 6.5 million population. I think it's what they already proved and already integrated together is very suitable for any China city to adapting So iSoftone is taking the leading role along with the Singapore IMDA to work with the few Singaporean companies who already been working on the virtual Singapore projects. So we put everyone together as a team, and starting from Chongqing, maybe from Liangjiang, maybe from other districts, then we can see if we can try to mimic what Singapore has done and build a new service platform in addition to the smart city projects.
Thank you. And I have one more question, okay? As we know, Singapore is a world-famous destination for tourists too. So, what would you recommend if the citizens from Chongqing want to visit Singapore? For example, like scenic spots, the cultural experience, or food. Personally, I visited Singapore last year, and the Hainanese chicken rice is my favorite. Could you share a little bit with us?
That's great authentic food, as you mentioned. That's combined the Chaozhou cuisine and the Malaysian cuisine and their local Indian cuisine, all together in one place. It has the Sentosa, as you mentioned, the Orchard Road. There's lots of places to go, but I would encourage whoever the Chongqing citizen to go to Singapore to experience and immerse yourself into the wonderful service environment. You can't imagine what Singapore has put in there to make those service right available at your hand. So it's actually like a service coming to you instead of you looking for services in Singapore. I think it's a wonderful experience.
Sure. Thanks, Eric. I really think that Singapore have a lot of things to offer, especially for its unique food. It's very like mixed, very diverse culture. And they are the reason branding of Singapore Tourism Board is called 心想事成. So once you have any thought in your mind, you can explore the things in Singapore. So from the traditional, say, handcraft things to, say, the local delights, or everything you can experience like the locals do, or really like making you a very unique experience and your experience in Singapore. So I really recommend everyone to go Singapore to take a visit. Yeah,
Sure.
Cool.
And everyone could find the thing he or she loves, or would be his or her favorite thing in Singapore, the unique thing, right?
Yes. So in the AI or in the smart tourism field, we consider it's kind of a user profiling thing. So if you are a certain kind of foodie, say, you will be very interested to explore the food and say the Mao Shan Wang or the Hainanese chicken rice in Singapore. But if you are someone who's adventurous, maybe you can explore some like activities in Sentosa, or even go hiking in the southern range. So there are so many things that you can do in Singapore. And we hope this kind of smart servicing in the tourism industry really can really work in Chongqing and really bring more and better services for the tourists.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And thank you very much for taking your time for our interview. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, first of all, let me have a brief introduction. This is Mr. Jason Lim, and he's the founder of VeriTag. The most famous technology of VeriTag is called cloud tagging, and now they are realizing more ideas. And Mr. De Bin is the general manager of Verizon Technologies and the chief commercial officer of Y3 Technologies. And now they are cooperating closely with Chongqing, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so let's start with our questions. So let's first begin with Jason.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've read the news about the cooperation of VeriTag and iChongqing. Yeah, it's a brand of unmanned convenience store in China, and a lot of new technologies are applied in these stores. But I think, just like me, a lot of readers are wondering, what's the cloud tagging and how does it work? can you make a brief introduction?
Okay, so basically we developed Veritech crowd tagging about 2 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago. Okay, so I will skip the technical part lah. So I go to the what it does. In basically, the Veritech crowd tagging is on blockchain. It has 2 certification, which we call the birth cert and the death cert, and it's linked through QR. So when you scan the birth cert, which is the external QR, go through the blockchain, go through the cloud, you get all the information on the product itself. Okay, and since it's on blockchain, all the data is immutable. You can't change it. It's all genuine. You peel the tag. There's another QR inside. We call it the death cert. And once you scan it, product has been tampered and it's dead. The key thing about our Veritech crowd tagging is every single product is itemized. It's unique. It means we are actually giving a birth cert to every single product itself. And every information is linked to the cloud. That's why we call it a crowd tagging. Yeah.
So in one word, that is to say we can trace the origin of all the products by scanning.
Correct.
Yeah, it's easy, right?
And even I myself cannot counterfeit.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
it's on blockchain. Yeah.
Okay. So another question for you. Is there any new technology or any specific product that you want to see at the Smart China Expo here?
Oh, that's a very, very tough question. Actually, when we have so much data through consumer, through the product itself, a very interesting aspect to see will be the AI part, to do the big data analysis. So that's something that we're actually exploring. That's one thing. Second thing is that, as mentioned in our current MOU formation of the Food Alliance, I'm looking for good partners to join our Food Alliance. We call it the Global Food Chain Alliance, Blockchain Alliance. So what we hope to achieve is that through our food chain global alliance, we can create a very healthy food ecosystem in the world.
Thank you. And next, let's have a question for Mr. Debin. So I've heard that you have worked for many years in China, right? And now your company is in cooperation with Chongqing Transportation Group, right?
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes, on the part on cooperation in CTG, but not really on the many years in China.
My bad. So could you please tell us a little bit about in what aspects are you working?
Okay. I think for this type of question, I always like to start why did Y3 Technologies ever come to Chongqing? I think that we have to thank the Chongqing Xiaomu. This is a very good opportunity for us to bring us to Chongqing. So when we came to Chongqing to do consultation work, actually it's a project for consultation work, we get to know CDG. So from there we realized that we have a lot of areas of collaboration because they have very huge resource in Chongqing, and for us we have the technology. So if we cooperate, we can actually increase the efficiency logistics for Chongqing and the Western region, and also definitely bring down the cost. So with that, Ryzen is formed. We are operationalized in January of 2018. That's when the whole thing started. Yeah.
And last but not least, I have one more question.
Yes.
Yeah. Since you are expert in logistics field,
I would say expert, but experienced, yes.
Okay, very experienced.
Okay.
So I have a question for you. That is, how do you think the logistics sector will be like in China in like 5 years or 10 years? Will it be all smart or totally autonomous? It's possible?
No, it's definitely possible, especially the way the technology is moving. I think I like to also echo what Jason had said earlier. One area that we are very interested in is AI. How AI is going to transform the field, the logistics field. But of course, there's a few steps to go. So for Ryzen and also Y3, we hope to be part of this journey. Yes.
Good.
All right.
And do you think the robots will be a challenge for humans?
No, actually, I really don't think so. It's like through history, whenever new technology, new ideas evolve, our roles change. So I believe for us as humans, we will definitely find a role and something that robots can do. Yeah, so that's my belief, and I think AI and robotics is definitely coming. It's up to us to imagine how the whole thing is going to be like. Yeah.
Good.
Right.
Okay. So thank you very much for
Thank you.
taking your time in our interview. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks.
Thanks. Okay.